All right, so we're gonna start by connecting and joining these lines so that they're continuous line segments versus broken line segments. So if you can either do it one of two ways. You select the object, you can see this property line is a line. Now, if we go to the modify commands and use the weld command, we can pick the base element, which is what our command line is, and then pick the next one. And it says one found. So let's make sure these should be all lines. So we're going to pick them all, and then you press enter. It found four, and it says four segments added to polyline. So what it did was it actually joined all of those together. So now you can see when we pick on it, it's one line. So this is what I was saying in the previous video, that we could have joined them and then you could just pick that line and move it instead of picking them all. But either way, you got to pick them all. So it's kind of either you can do this first and then relayer, or relayer and then do this. Sometimes the relayering is a little bit easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off that property line. So we'll come over here and we'll just turn that off. Oops. And pick the color, not turn off. Turn on the eyeball there to just hide it. We'll do the same thing with the construction fence. So I'm just going to pick this line here, and we can right click and repeat the weld, and then from there we can just start picking these other segments. That one's a long one, and we'll pick this one and then come up and grab these. Now it might not pick them, there might be a gap. So 14 segments added. So if we select it, it looked like it didn't pick them all. So like this one and this one didn't get these didn't get joined. So let's try this again. If we right click and repeat the weld, grab that. Oops, sorry, grab this and this one and this one. Let's see. So we got that. So again, sometimes it's a little finicky depending on how the object is created. So if we pick that one, that's the source. Now we pick the entities, and we got those two. So sometimes you got to do it a little bit, a couple at a time. There is another option here where we can do a p edit, and we'll specify J for join. And now I can pick this, and we can grab this line. Let's see if that one does it. So that one got added. So if we escape out of that, you can see now that's all joined up to there. And then this one, yeah. So you can see this, the endpoint of that line is there, which is why it's not joining. So if we grab this grip and we just snap it to the endpoint there, then we can pick this line, right click, and either edit polyline or do the weld command. And again, we're going to do J for join. We're going to pick this line here, and now you can see that one's joined. So press enter to or escape to get out of the command, and you can see, oh, that's the other reason why it didn't join, was because it looks like it has a gap. So we're just going to grip edit that. So that's our construction fence. Now we're going to run into that same issue on these curves, but there's also some other things we might have to do from a elevation standpoint. But let's go ahead and we'll turn off the construction fence. We know we've got that one done, and we can easily turn them all back on here in a little bit. Sidewalk, what we can do is go to edit polyline and grab this line, and we can say J for join, and just do a crossing window, and then press enter again, and we probably have, yep, there's a gap here, right? So what we want to do is just kind of come up and grab that point there, and we're just going to grab this one and we're going to snap it to the endpoint of that line, and then we'll do the J or polyline edit again. We can do J for join or weld, and let's see if this works. So we pick this one, and that one, right? So none got added. So let's try the polyline edit. So P edit, we'll pick J for join, grab this, and grab this. So none were added. Now when you see that happen, what we need to do is figure out why. So that's a polyline, that's a line, and looks like that one's a polyline. If we use our orbit tool and do the constrained or free orbit, and we put our cursor here, we can kind of scroll it up. Sometimes it's not in the same plane, which is possibly what's happening, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like that's okay. Now the other way, we'll go back to a top view. Let's take a look at that line and let's look at the geometry. You can see that it's got this negative 1781. So let's look at this line, and that's 1781 as well. So maybe what we do, everything should connect. So let's do a polyline edit. Let's pick this line, and you can see that it's not a polyline, so we're going to turn it into one. We're going to say yes, and then we can go ahead and say J for join, and let's try it that way. Still not joining it. So not sure why, but what we can do is set this layer current. So what I'm going to do is come in here, go to my format and layer tools, and we'll say activate layer. So sidewalk is the active layer. We're going to delete this. After I delete it, is I can just go over to the polyline command, and I can draw a polyline from here to here. And now let's try if we pick this and weld. So sorry, I'm going to hit J for weld. We're going to pick this as the base entity, and we'll grab those two. And now you can see we've joined it together. So that's probably a little bit better way. If you, instead of fighting with it, if it won't join, then just draw it in and join it. Something probably with that line slightly off. Again, we don't have to join those. We're not going to worry about that. But we will come down here and let's go ahead and take this one and we'll weld this one. So we'll grab those, and we can see that that one's all joined as well. Now I'm going to break this video here and focus. We'll do the curbs next because there is this issue with elevation that we want to adjust. So we're going to make sure that we do that on these objects. So we'll break this here, and we'll can pick up with the curb line.